Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be reviewing The Incredible Hulk, Marvel's second movie within the MCU, and the black sheep of the MCU family, which is unfortunate because I'm a big fan of this movie. Spoilers. Yeah, I have a real soft spot for this movie. And a fair warning, this is just my opinion as always, and a lot of this could be just played by nostalgia. It was one of my earliest movies I watched that I really loved. I don't know, it's one of my most watched movies. I don't know, it could very much be nostalgia from this movie, but I don't care. I'm going to try and look at it fairly, give my opinion on it at the moment. Watched it last night, and yeah, there will be spoilers, so I recommend going to watch this film first and then coming back. So many moons ago I made a video talking about how I think The Incredible Hulk is the most underrated and overhated film within the MCU, and I stick with that opinion. I don't think it's the best film in the MCU, but many people put it like bottom or second bottom or around that area, and I disagree. I totally disagree. I think it's got to at least be in the middle, at least for me, within the Marvel rankings. I think it's a really strong film. It's not an amazing movie by any means, I have multiple flaws with it, but if you're looking for a fun flick, especially a fun action flick to just get by, this film is 100% the movie for you. I don't think you can possibly have a bad time with this film. I could never. If you do, that's fine, obviously. But I just think you have a fun time every time you watch this movie. We'll start off with the general stuff that I like. There's some really good visual storytelling, which I always appreciate, because obviously film is a visual medium, and I don't know, it's just nice to be treated like properly, not spoon-fed every bit of information, and also exposition can just get boring, but yeah, it's nice, and it gets a lot out the way very early on. We get told the origin story of Bruce within the opening sequence with some really entertaining music and visual work. It's really good, and it's really fast paced, and it's enjoyable, and it's fun. It gets us into the movie straight away so we can get into the main plot of the film, and yeah, which can lead to a few flaws I have. Sometimes the movie doesn't feel like they 100% know where they want to go, and it is a very surface level movie, I will say that. It's not that deep with emotion. Edward Norton gets a lot of stick over this film, but at least performance-wise, because I'm not confident enough talking about the behind-the-scenes of this film. I don't know enough about that drama, but performance-wise, I think he does a pretty good job. I don't think he's as good as Mark Ruffalo, in my opinion, but I think he does do a good job and does add to Bruce and my care for Bruce in this film. Unfortunately, the performance against Mark Ruffalo do kind of go together. They contrast quite a bit, but he makes this film enjoyable for me, so it doesn't really bother me that much. A small inclusion in the film which I really like was the heart rate watch. I loved it. Adds this little bit of intensity to every scene, and it also adds to Bruce's character of just really wanting to control this, or not even control it, really wanting to be himself, to stay away from that life. He is so scared of it that he has this watch on at all times, and he's so careful about everything he does, and it really adds to my sympathy for him. As a whole, Bruce is a pretty good character, definitely the best in the film for me. I feel real sympathy for him, and that's his strong point here, because his life was ripped away from him, and I empathise with that, and I feel bad for him. He's constantly on the run for something that he physically cannot control. He can't see anyone he cares about, and it is just awful for him. That said, though, he is slacking slightly. We could have done with maybe 1 or 2 flashbacks to his life before the experiment and his first transformation. Just dive a bit more into Bruce's past, not as much as the 2003 Hulk film. Please don't do that. But just a little bit to show how much of a change it is. Even though we can kind of figure it out ourselves, would have been nice just to get a little bit for me. And then the rest of the characters are fine, really. I don't have much to say, in truth. Ross and Blonsky are very entertaining antagonists thanks to the performances. I'm so glad Tim Roth is coming back in She-Hulk. That just makes me really excited. He adds a bunch to this film. He's such a great time to watch. I love him in this movie. He's so energetic. He adds a lot to his character. Sadly though, the writing for Blonsky or Abomination isn't the best. I think there's a little bit of something there about how he's kind of obsessed with being a fighter. He doesn't want to quit the army. He wants to keep being a soldier in the middle of everything. But we don't know why, and if we knew why, that really could have helped a lot of this film. But we don't, and it's unfortunate because he really deserves that little bit. He needs that little push to make me really care about him, and really make him a compelling villain. And it also would have helped his transformation to Abomination at the end of the film. And General Ross is simple as hell, but effective. You know, you all know the General Ross about now. He tried to recreate the super soldier serum, didn't work, went very, very wrong. But now he's trying to get this, trying to harness this. He wants to get to a good end point, but he's going about it in a really awful way. But he thinks he's doing it right, and I think he's a very serviceable villain. It's always nice to have him back in Civil War and everything as well. Betty is fine. Her relationship with Ross is really compelling, and somewhat with Bruce. I guess the Bruce one is kind of lackluster for me, but honestly, Liv Tyler's the main reason I enjoy watching Betty in this film. She just gives a really good performance, and yeah, she's not really written too well for me. She's not overly necessary. She kind of adds to other characters, but not to herself. But nonetheless, I'd love to see her make a return. I love the look of the Hulk here. Yeah, of course, some CGI doesn't hold up. This was made in 2008, or released in 2008, maybe before then. But on the whole, they went for a much more horror look for the Hulk and Abomination and everything in this film, which I think works really well for the Hulk. Especially this kind of stuff before Professor Hulk, which one day I will talk about. I have my thoughts on Professor Hulk, and how we've only got this one singular Hulk film. But I just think it's a great look to go with. He's genuinely really scary in this film. I mean, in the first sequence with him, we don't see him really at all. He's just in the shadows, throwing stuff, absolutely obliterating everything in his way, and it adds this layer of fear into the audience for the rest of the movie. Obviously, we see him in full later on at the school, college, whatever it is, campus place, which, by the way, amazing sequence. But yeah, it's just, they went for a much more horrific look, scary, intimidating for the Hulk and Abomination, and I think it really paid off in this film. In terms of story, this is a very basic story, probably the most simple Hulk story you could ever go for, and thankfully I found Bruce a mostly good written character, because it kind of relies on sympathising with characters, but unfortunately it loses points because Blonsky felt slightly undeveloped into Abomination. That's basically what I was on about earlier. If that was developed more, that could have worked more, and I don't think it doesn't work. I enjoy it, and it doesn't majorly pull me out of it, but I just think it should have been better. And talking of the look of Abomination, the final action sequence it's great. You know, some CGI, some shots, yeah, sure, they don't look the best, but I don't care. All of the action sequences in this film, the three action sequences, the three big ones, are so good. They're so entertaining. I love them so much. I'll play a few clips for you now.
Let him have all of it.
I just think they're great. I love them so much. I don't know what it is, but it's just, I love the energy the scenes bring with them, the actual kind of, I don't know, I just feel they're just so great to watch. They are fight scenes I would genuinely describe as epic. There's also some surprising comedy throughout. this particular one line that really cracks me up every time. But yeah, there's little sprinkles throughout, really lightens the movie to its, and that's a good thing. As I say, some CGI doesn't hold up, like where Bruce's blood falls into a bottle at the start, and then, like I said, certain shots of Hulk and Abomination, and there are points where it does feel quite rushed, and it's like they want to get through this scene to the next one, and it just feels like kind of pushed to the side just to get through it, and it's a shame. And I really thought that they should have built up a bit more of a emotional rivalry between Blonsky and Bruce, because that could have given us a more investing final battle. And not that it wasn't exactly investing, but it was, but it could have, I think we should have, and it seemed like they wanted to build a actual hatred on Blonsky's side to Bruce. And I understand that he does hate him, he's caused him a lot of pain, and he's jealous that Bruce basically has this advantage, but still I think maybe a bit of a personal one would have helped. And then the Betty and Bruce relationship feels kind of underdeveloped as well. But other than those flaws, despite it being the black sheep, definitely, of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think it's impossible to not have fun with it. Every time I've watched this film, I've enjoyed it, and I'm going to continue to watch it and enjoy it, I imagine. I found this score really difficult to give because I'm trying to be harsher, but I am going to give The Incredible Hulk a 6.5. Hey guys, Future Jack here. I'm currently editing the video, and I realised the reason I gave my score is because I'm scared of the Marvel fans, and I worry very much about my opinion on the internet. You know, I like to give it. I made this channel because I want to give my opinion. I enjoy talking about movies. I love them. I talk about them too much, so I made this channel. But you know, while of course there's going to be scores in the past that I disagree with, this isn't one of them. I was scared to give it a higher score because of what people would say, but you know what? It's my opinion, and if you have a problem with my opinion, then that's your problem. I don't have a problem if you hate this film or if you like it more than me, because that's fine. But this is just mine, and I'm going to give The Incredible Hulk a 7 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this might be an unpopular opinion, but I genuinely really enjoyed this film. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of The Incredible Hulk in the comment section below, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.